Now it is my pleasure to introduce our class of 2011 speaker, Esther Weathers. I agree. Come on up, Esther. Esther has worked at the Intercultural Center all 4 years of her Whitman career, and the staff there have this to say about her, and I quote, "Esther was an outstanding intern, warm, outgoing, and passionate about diversity. I know that Esther also cares deeply about social work, a career path she plans to follow on to graduate school. She graduates today with a degree in psychology and a minor in education, and will be speaking to us on the topic of, quote, we think, we know." Please welcome Esther Weathers. Esther. Go get him.
How did you find out about Whitman College? Every year I've been asked that question in some shape or form. It is the question that most international and students who live abroad get, and the answer is always the same. The internet, duh. That's how I heard about Whitman. How did I choose Whitman is another story. I was looking at the Princeton Review, and they had a list of these rankings. One of them was, dorms are like palaces. And Whitman just happened to be on the list. Now, I knew if I was gonna travel halfway across the world, I wasn't gonna live in a dorms like dungeons. And so I applied, because I didn't wanna live in a dungeon. Though my reasoning for applying is not the most common, my reason for attending was far more empirically based. Next thing I knew, I was here. Never saw the campus, didn't know what liberal arts meant, and definitely did not know the location of Walla Walla. I took a risk, a chance, and never have I regretted making such a decision. This is probably the best decision of my life. That's just my story. We all have stories about how we ended up here, and they were, at the time, the biggest decisions of our lives. College is often thought of as the time where we find enlightenment, where all the answers just come to us. This year, for my birthday, a dear friend of mine gave me a card that said, "Not all who wander are lost." Very befitting for a senior. But that quote got me thinking about the last 4 years of my life. Every year, I thought I had it all figured out, only to find the following year that I had absolutely nothing figured out and was faced with more questions. In freshman year, the first major crisis was whether or not you will make friends. It sounds silly, but back in the day, you know it was the question that haunted you before you even made it to campus. You ended up making friends sooner than you thought, and now life is set. The ride should be smooth from here. However, life hits you another curveball. You become a sophomore and are faced with a bigger question. What are you gonna major in? Should you major in something that will provide you food, or major something for the soul? You take a risk and make your choice, and you have your purpose in life. But then junior year comes, and suddenly half your friends are gone, and you wonder whether the insert here major was right for you. The identity crisis of where your friends are and if your major is applicable to the real world has somehow confused you, but you figure it out. Ready or not, senior year comes. 3 years in college, and now you're a senior. You should know all the tricks of the trade. How to write a paper, a 10-page paper in less than 24 hours, when to play the senior card to get that extension or that table in the library, and how to live it up at night but still look fresh in the day. Despite knowing all these things, senior year is the worst. It's the worst because it comes with the illusion that you will have all this free time in the world and be one of those yoga-doing, only have one class senior. Reality, you have your orals, your writtens, your thesis, your classes, and future to figure out simultaneously. And the real reason you're taking that yoga class is because you need time to exercise, and you might as well get credit for it. Somehow we survived this crazy year, and theoretically, we should have all our questions answered. However, we are faced with the hardest part. The last big question you face is what's next? Where you will live, what you will do, and what about your friends? Some questions you have answers to, and others you may not. We all come with the idea that answers will be revealed while we are here in college. However, the secret to college is that it is a place to wander and find questions. By being lost, we are able to uncover things we never expected and become people we never thought we could be. The word lost usually has a bad connotation. However, today I want to challenge that. Being lost allows you to experience and change constantly, rather than always knowing what we're doing before we do it. Knowing everything makes life mundane and takes the color out of it. On days like these, it is about reflection of the past. It is easy to get caught up and ask the hard question, what's next? But the truth is, by asking such questions, we take away from the moment. We always want to talk about what happened or always want to discuss what could be. Today, I ask you not to get stuck in the past or worry too much about the future. It is fun to reflect on our experiences, and we should. However, we should not be stuck in them. You only have one graduation. You only have this moment. There's no need to worry about what will be or what was. Enjoy today. As they say, live, laugh, love. Thank you.